Hey, what's up, guys? Charles Van Mediva, MaxVALoan.com, Patriot Pacific Financial Corp, right here in Murrieta, California. My guest today, once again, is Terrell Wright, Air Force veteran, Coldwell Banker. Welcome, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Very well. And we picked a really good topic. Buyers, we can't expect buyers to know the difference, Terrell, between what a home inspection is and what an appraisal is.
Yes.
Shoot. Go ahead.
So an appraisal is done typically by a licensed appraisal official. Now, what appraisal is doing, he is letting you know the value of your home based on what the mortgage company is willing to lend you to pay for that home if you're financing.
Okay. So the appraiser is looking at value. What is the home inspector looking for?
So the home inspector is more looking for defects, is looking for the condition of the home. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's looking at the HVAC system. He's looking at electrical. He's looking at plumbing. He's looking at the foundation, roof, installation, things of that nature that may occur a cost to you after you purchase the home. Gotcha. And just to give you a heads up, okay, hey, they did replace the roof 5 years ago. Yeah. There's a 10 to 15 year lifespan. You have 10 years left. Or they just they replaced a hot water heater maybe 10 years ago, so it's coming to the end of its lifespan. Gotcha. Something buyers need to know so they can adjust.
It sounds like more of a in-depth investigation of the property.
Yes, sir.
I mean, appraisers, I've seen some appraisers in and out of the house in 5 to 10 minutes.
Well, appraisers also base the value on the home on comps in the area based on size, lots, the size of the lot, the square footage of the home, bedrooms, bathrooms, things of that nature, upgrades. Yeah. So they can do a lot of their appraisal footwork outside of the property. Right. They don't necessarily have to be at the property to get a good value. Gotcha. I mean, they still do come. Me as an agent, I like to be there for both. I like to be there for when the appraiser's there. Yeah. It's hard to kind of line that up because most appraisers don't like to be bothered.
Sure. Followed around.
Yeah, they don't like to be followed around. But for me, I like to see what they look at because then that helps me, with my buyers I already know this is what an appraiser is going to see. This is what he's looking at. Yeah. So just to be informed.
This is a good point. So appraiser is looking to determine value
100%
on behalf of the lender, really. They're looking to say, hey, here's what the value is so the lender can make a determination on how much they're going to lend.
They basically have the back of the lender. Right. And
they're
trying to make sure that the lender is not overpaying or underpaying for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good point. And the home inspector is looking at the condition of the property, safety issues, and things of that nature. So the home inspection report is how many pages typically?
Oh, wow. It can, depending. I've seen them from 25 to 100 pages long.
100 pages?
Yeah, depending on how thorough the inspector is.
Whereas the appraisal is a lot less. And as I've always been told by appraisers, they call it a head and shoulders visual observation.
Yes, sir.
They're not moving furniture.
They're not.
They're not looking. You got a dead body behind the couch. They're not going to find it because they're not moving the couch.
Right.
They're not climbing up on the roof for the most part. Right.
It's a 30-foot view of a home value.
Okay.
That's what they're looking for.
They're looking, but now they're not blind to the condition of the 100%. Property. So you got a home inspector that's kind of going to the extreme. They're investigating. They're looking for trouble. Mm-hmm. Defects, problems. The appraiser is not blind. He's not looking for that. But if he sees something,
he's going to
report
100%,
it. 100%. Right. And termite is an example. If he sees, the fascia, if he sees stuff that is indicative of termite, presence,
he's
going to call it out. Mm-hmm. Even though he didn't come looking for that, he's looking for what's going to affect value.
100%, because if there is termites on the property or there is mold on the property, that could affect the bank, approving you for that loan. Because if the bank doesn't see that the house is up in condition for someone to live in, they're not going to approve it.
I also wonder, is there a liability issue here for an appraiser that walks around and he doesn't notice something that he should have noticed? That's off.
Well, I mean, people make mistakes. Everybody's not perfect. So I don't expect him to see everything. But when I meet an appraiser at my property, I've already ran comps. I'm bringing to him what I think the value of the property is worth. Okay. And just to show him that I did my due diligence. Right. And hopefully that will, play a good key.
Here's an interesting point I want to make. We as a lender, I'm a lender, we typically don't send the home inspection to the lender, to underwriting.
No.
That's not something we need to do. It's not something we're half the time if we did.
It's pretty funny. My very first deal, I responded. What did I do? I hit reply all to an email, and I sent the lender the inspection report by accident. Oh, man.
Because the underwriter is always going to defer to the most conservative position. They get a hold of something like that, like, oh, well, I didn't know before, but I know now.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you got all these repair items going on. So typically, the appraisal, of course, goes to the lender, but the home inspection is not.
So what you can really, the way you can look at it is that the appraiser has the back of the lender and the bank. Yeah. The home inspection has the back of the buyer. 100%.
Makes sense. Now, here's an interesting point. When you are representing the buyer, you guys select a home inspector, right? Yes. From your roster of those that are good and local. But you don't get to pick the appraiser.
No.
You don't as an agent, and the buyer doesn't.
No.
We, the lender, pick the appraiser. And on some loans, we don't actually, most loans now, every loan, you pretty much go through a appraisal management company, and they assign it on a rota system. With VA, it's different. We don't go through an appraisal management company. We go right through the VA portal, and they assign it based on who's next in that area. So I think home buyers sometimes think, well, hey, I got an appraiser. I know someone that's going to do it for me for cheap. No, you don't get that. You don't get that choice.
No. And that's why I like to be there. I like to put a face with the report.
Yeah.
And I also like them to see me, and that I'm concerned and that I care about, the process. So, it helps when you show up.
You will be put in a tough situation sometimes because you are at the home inspection, you get the home inspection report, you probably wind up having knowledge of some serious issues. And now you're tasked with that responsibility to counsel your buyer and lose your commission potentially.
100%.
That deal's not going to close. You're not going to get paid on that house, on that deal. But you're going to do the right thing, and
100%.
Talk us through that, if you would.
Well, I mean, if I'm there with the home inspection and something is brought up that is severe of that nature, I mean, the first thing I'm going to do is let the buyers know. I'll let them know the severity. I'll, instruct them on what I think they should do as far as finding a contractor or getting a second opinion. I would offer them resources and to find that second opinion and to see, okay, what is this repair going to cost? And if they decide to move forward, I will work that into the contract to make sure that they get a credit for it. Or if they decide to, okay, this is too much for what we want to do. Hey, let's back to the drawing board.
Move on to the next property.
Move to the next one. Yeah.
How much does a home inspection cost? We're here in Southern California. A lot of your business is Riverside County, presumably San Diego County. Do you go out to San Bernardino as well?
I'll go anywhere.
What does a home inspection cost? What can a buyer expect to pay?
Honestly, I would pay whatever the home inspector asks.
Right.
Yeah, that's not something you want to penny pitch on.
Right.
For me, I've seen anywhere from $500 to $750 for a home inspection.
Right there with an appraisal, right? Really. I mean, a VA appraisal nowadays is $700. We're recording this in 2023. It's $700 for a single family home. Some areas it's more than that if there's a scarcity of appraisers. Yeah. So they're both about the same.
I typically don't haggle with inspectors.
Yeah,
that's not someone you really want to haggle with. You want them to feel like they get their just worth, they work's worth,
Yeah,
and you want them to really inspect the property and do the job well. So
right. Now, as far as timeline, I know we would not order an appraisal until we have a fully executed purchase contract and all the addendums and all the counteroffers and all of that. Then we would order the appraisal.
Right.
When are you ordering a home inspection?
Typically, when the offer is accepted by
immediately.
The seller. Yeah.
Okay.
We want to know exactly what's going on with the property as soon as possible.
Yeah. As early as possible, so that if there are issues that your buyer decides, I don't want to deal with that.
Yes, sir. We can get out.
You get out early and move on and not risk your deposit.
100%.
Good to go. I hope you guys found this useful. There's some good content right there. Sir. There is such a difference between what an appraiser does and what an inspector does, huh?
It is. I mean, just to give you an example, appraisal. So if you have a good agent that haggles you or that negotiates for you the price point that you're going to buy a home. One of my deals, I got one of my buyers, military guy, got him into a home. The sellers wanted $465. I believe we offered $455, which was accepted, and appraisal came in for $475.
Wow.
So he walked in with $20K equity before even moving into the house.
Good for you.
You know, it's all a negotiation piece.
I have one more question for you. We typically don't show the appraisal to the seller's side.
Okay.
It's really none of their business. Some sellers would insist on it. Of course,
this seller saw it and they were really upset.
They were upset.
They were upset.
So if the value comes in low, then we got nothing to lose. We're like, yeah, sure, here you go. Look, it's 20 grand lower than what.
And what's crazy is, you know, they felt like they left 50. Like I want to say, what did they say they left? They felt like they left $15K on the table, but they walked away with over $200K. And
wow!
Like, it's just like, what are you talking about?
Money talks, greed talks.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Like,
now, what about the home inspector? Are you showing that to the seller?
If they ask for it, yeah.
Why would you? Because you're saying, well,
because
I need this,
I'm going to be
and this
asking for
repaired?
credits. Yeah, I'm going to be asking for credits, and that's going to be the proof that I need to for that.
Yeah. That's interesting. If you guys are watching this, you don't inadvertently want the appraisal to wind up in the seller's side, you know, especially if the value comes in higher. I have seen situations where the seller's like, well, shoot, I'm leaving 15 to 20 grand. Let me find a way to weasel out of this contract.
And we ran into that.
Yeah.
Our escrow on that one, I think, took about 40 days until we finished.
Wow.
Because of the back and forth. And
So it pays for buyers to know or to work with someone that knows who's supposed to see what and not compromise the situation and put the buyer in a tough spot because the seller's seen something they're supposed to not see.
All right.
Good to go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Terrell Wright, we have several podcast videos coming up, a lot of good content. Terrell's knee deep in the community here, putting buyers and sellers into homes.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Appreciate it.